Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to episode number 185 here on season number 2. And today we are getting into my thoughts on Grant Cardone's 5 steps to be a millionaire. These videos are meant for educational purposes only and not meant to be taken as financial advice. You are responsible for your assets and to properly protect them. So always please, do your own research. Grant Cardone came out recently with a video where he gives basically his sales team 5 steps on what it takes to be a millionaire. To kind of like retrack a little bit, this video was actually published on June 7th of this year, so it's, I would say, about 3 months old as of right now. However, in this video he has 5 steps where you have a target, you turn up the income, you go broke investing, and then you make that passive income. And his 5th step, I guess it's like repeat or revisit your goals or redo them or something. He doesn't really have a 5th step. Like on the whiteboard, if you look, like he has 4 steps. Like it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there is no 5th. Like he never puts a 5th, and I don't know why. He titled it 5 steps because it's only 4 steps. So maybe like that's what most people use is 5 steps. But yeah, only 4 steps right there. Like the whole, kind of just to run you through like a quick summary of what he talks about. Basically, he starts out with people having a goal, to be a millionaire, only have $1 million saved up in their account. And basically they say, if only I had a $1 million, like I could quit my job and make it on my own. And basically he claimed that, that $1 million at $4,000 a month would last you about 25 years or so. So at 27, you would be able to live on $4,000 every single month up until the age of 52. And then at 52, you would have no money. The account would be completely zilch, not there, which I completely agree with him based upon the circumstances that he gave. However, later on in his speech, he does allude to investing your money, but does not take the investment returns off that $1 million into consideration when talking about the specific $1 million lasting you 25 years. I'm kind of a little bit confused because investing for him is kind of a big thing, and he never says if you invested at $1 million, you would make maybe a 4% return the next year, $40,000, and then $40,000 the next year, and $40,000 the next year. And if you could live on $40,000 a year, well, then maybe you could make it comfortably. However, you got to take into consideration inflation also, so it's not all that much, but at least your money's kind of making you a little bit more money year over year. So it would definitely prolong how long that $1 million would last. But basically, he says that in order to live a stress-free life, you will need to do, the Grant Cardone thing to 10x. So you'll need $10 million. He means that you need to set the goal high and believe and work to make that goal happen. He says then in order to reach that goal of $10 million, you need to save 40% of your gross income. And I said gross, not your net. So what comes out before taxes? What is there before taxes, not what is there after taxes? He basically says that if you make $10,000 a month, save or store $4,000 of it, pay $4,000 to the IRS each month, and then you have basically about $2,000 to live on. And then so he's like, okay, well then turn it up to make $20,000 a month, right? Make $240,000 a year. How many of you guys will make $240,000 a year? It's probably not many. Okay, but anyways, he says then you could go ahead and save $8,000 of it. Go ahead and pay the IRS $8,000, and then from there live on $4,000 a month, and that might be a little bit more comfortable for people to do. However, my question, I'm sure most of you guys, is how? Right? How am I supposed to make $20,000 every single month and then go ahead and only live off $4,000 of that? Are you crazy, man? Are you crazy? Are you seriously crazy? Then third, you have to invest the money that you stored. So the $4,000 that you've been saving basically off that $10,000 that you were getting paid monthly, you have to store $4,000 of it. Well, you have to invest it. He has a personal bias for real estate, which I completely understand why. But I'm not totally into real estate like he is. But I agree that basically money in the bank will basically just disappear. Like, given inflation, given the return that you get paid in the form of interest, and then given the ease of just transferring from one account to the next, that money will just be gone before you know it. So put it away in investments. He likes tangible things. He likes things that pay monthly. That's why he likes real estate, which I'm totally like, go for it. And he does talk about like AT&T stock and also Twitter and Google, and why he wouldn't buy Google because they don't pay a dividend, and why he doesn't buy AT&T because they don't pay a dividend each month. They pay it quarterly, which most companies do. And he basically says that AT&T, off what you pay them, they make tons of money in that quarter, and then they go ahead and pay you just a little bit of what they actually make. He said it would be nice if they paid you monthly. Fourth, and at that point, like with investing, he basically says that you need to get to about $100,000 before you go look for your first, I think, rental property or your first investment property or something like that. He says that it's not a good idea to invest or to have anything less than that, which I'm like, gosh, man, $100,000, like it might take people years to get there unless they're doing it the 10x way. Fourth, in regards to passive income, you need to get to a point where your passive income per month is the same or more than what your gross monthly income is at your job or what you make before you had that passive income. So he says at that point, when your monthly income from your investments makes you about the same as your job, he says at that point you pretty much, he's like, then you could show up to work and work and grind and hustle your butt off if you want to, and if you don't want to, then by all means, like, you don't have to, kind of thing. No doubt are these 4 like huge mountains of a task to like get over. However, I do agree with him to some degree. Like, for the average person, $1 million is not enough money, and I think he does make a good point for that. Even given the interest, it could go away in an instant, and then you would be left going back to basically the daily grind. Like he said, you know, if you have like, well, heaven forbid, but maybe you have like a car accident, someone in your family gets some medical issues, cancer, heaven forbid, but like think about how much money you might be expending for that on top of what the $4,000 of expenses already. And he said then it could dwindle even faster, and I completely agree with him there. There might be a better means of getting a bigger account. Obviously the bigger the account, the safer you'll be set up moving into the future. And I would also agree with him, like I just said, that a person with $10 million in the bank compared to a person with $1 million is going to have a lot more peace of mind than the person with $1 million, for sure. But the strategy of getting there, I mean, gosh, 40% of your gross income, for most people, that seems completely outrageous. And I think for most, honestly, it probably is at this current state. It's like, what do I do? For me, like, it's like, what do I do? Work a second full-time job on top of what I already do right now? And then, like, where do I sleep? Like, where does my health go? Like, do I just toss all that to the side for the next 20 years and say, like, so be it. Like, we'll see where I'm at in 40 years or 20 years if I'm good health, and hopefully I'll be able to make it for the next 40 years after I've done hustled my butt off for the last 20. Like, how is that even possible? And I think what he's trying to get people to do is shift the mindset of, you know, just working the 40-hour work week into looking at how you can open up other streams of income, like doing online stuff. I mean, honestly, I don't really know. And I feel like most people don't actually think that way. They're like, hey, you know what? I show up for my job, I can save a little bit because I make a little bit here. And I think that everybody's level of saving, every level of investing is going to look different. I think that really when it comes down to it, I think he wants people to quit their job and have a larger stream of income, but that involves risk also, right? It's like start a side hustle maybe in hopes that will turn into a full-time hustle. I mean, I don't really know. I guess kind of maybe my second idea would be to cut out a lot of expenses to drop the income that's needed for your monthly bills, food, whatever it is. Try to cut that down so that way you can start saving additionally into your storage or your investments. But then my question would be, like, could you really cut that to 40% so that you could be saving 40% of your gross income? I don't know. For me, it still seems impossible. However, I think that he does honestly have some very, very good principles. So I think, like, set scary goals, have a plan on how you will reach that goal, and then what the goal looks like when you get there. Like, that is pretty much the idea and concept. Like, he has, like, set the scary goal of $10 million. The plan on how you're going to get there is by saving 40% of your gross income each month, and then reinvesting that once you have a certain amount. And what that looks like, the end result of what that looks like, is being able to live off that money, getting paid from your passive income the same amount of money as you currently do at your job. And so you can basically do both, thus combining it and making even more and more and more money. For me right now though, we can only do about 10, I would say about 10 to 20% of what we actually make. Into the future, I mean, I would strive to obviously save or invest as much as possible. But for right now, this is a good place for us to be at. Me and my wife have talked about it, or my wife and I have talked about it, and right now it's a good place for us to be at. However, I think the thing that I enjoyed the most about the entire video was how sobering it was to like think that, you know, you always think about, oh, what it would be like to get there, but like you can't just settle because everybody else is settling. It's like you can always do better. You can always set the goal higher. You can always try to work harder and hustle. But like while everybody else is settling, like maybe you could be the person to not settle and get that 10x growth. Anyways, we'll go ahead and leave right there. Let's jump to the question of the day, which is, if you could replace the handshake as a greeting with interesting new greeting, what would you replace it with? And I would probably do it like a heel click, where you like click your heels together, not with the next person. So you just walk up to them and you're just like, I wish I could show you on stream, but basically, you know, you take your foot in the back of their foot and you just like click them together, and it's like, what up, dude? I don't know. What the heck? Really? Like, you think that would actually work? Anyways, like I was saying, if you got a question regarding Stash, Acorns, Robinhood, M1 Finance, as well as general investing, business, Etsy, coaching, post those questions down below. Don't forget to subscribe right up here. Check out these two videos right here in the link. And as always, thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.